Good evening and welcome to Toastmasters Live here in Blaine, Minnesota. We're at the North Metro Cable TV station. My name is Kent Hawks. I'll be your Toastmaster tonight, and we have a wonderful, exciting meeting for you tonight. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2017. Our theme of the day is time on our hands. Too often we have so much time on our hands and we don't know what to do with it. Well, some of us do, some of us don't. And hopefully tonight we'll get some ideas how to use some of that time. We have a couple of speakers that'll be giving presentations tonight that they have prepared. We're also going to be having table topics, and hopefully we'll be able to use the word of the day as well as a few other topics. As I said, the theme of the day is time on our hands. The word of the day, which I'm hoping that everyone will be able to incorporate into their themes and speaking tonight, is copious. And copious means in abundance, in large quantity or number, abundant, plentiful, or exhibiting abundance or fullness. And that can be used in a sample sentence. People with a copious amounts of free time should join Toastmasters because they have all this time to dedicate to what they want, to the messages they want to get across, and preparation for getting those messages across. We don't have any guests tonight, but I do welcome all of you in the audience, including our North Metro TV audience. We have a multi-part meeting, and Toastmasters is all about working on to develop our communication and leadership abilities. And one of the ways that we do this is by speaking, by getting up in front of the audience and speaking publicly. One of the ways we spend our time, our free time, and our work time is giving presentations. And giving those presentations, whether it's for business, pleasure, or just recreation, is one of the things that we work on here. It's said that some people fear public speaking. I can relate that you may feel that way. I don't feel that way, but I'm hoping that I can pass on to you and we can pass on to you that might be an option, that you will get more comfortable and develop your communication skills. You'll also be developing your leadership skills by taking part in the meeting as a role player, and our general evaluator will be introducing the people doing those roles in a little while. But we will be providing feedback, among other things. Hopefully we can edit that part out. Our first speaker of the evening is an experienced speaker. Her name is Mary Schwartz. Mary fills her days outside of work with a variety of hobbies. She feels that these increase her quality of life. They affect her spirit and body in many good ways. Mary would like to encourage others to explore positive benefits of doing something outside their paradigm. So please welcome Mary Schwartz with "You Don't Have to Be Perfect. Get a Hobby."
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, TV Land audience, I do believe that hobbies not only fill my day, but they fill my spirit, heal my body, heal my soul. I know a lot of people in life. I work in a high-stress environment. A lot of people day in, day out. I work in a downtown area, and I am in several social circles. I know a lot of people who could be considered very successful, who could be considered very productive, who are very efficient. But the happiest people I know are people who have a hobby. What is a hobby? A hobby is a lot of things. It's something that encourages you to unite with others, encourages you to create something, encourages you to reduce your stress. Those are the concepts of a hobby. In reality, a hobby can be as simple as taking a walk with a group of people, taking a walk alone, to creating a masterpiece of art. Hobbies are anything that a person feels is good for them, fills that piece of their soul that they don't fill with their home duties, with their family duties, with their work duties. How do you get a hobby? One of my hobbies, a very prolific hobby in which I produce a copious amount of artwork, comes from a Groupon. Another hobby, being here at Toastmasters, came from somebody at work who said, "You need to come with me." Other hobbies have come from watching a YouTube video, reading an article in the paper, seeing a billboard, saying, I'd like to try that. That would be interesting. How would you find your hobby? Same ways I've found a hobby. Look around. Find something that interests you. Get away from what you do normally. Think about something that would be different for you. Look at Groupon, if nothing else. Read some articles. Open up Wikipedia and just type in some letters until you get something. Open up a book of how to and point at something. Pick a hobby, pick a time to do it, go out and try to do something. You don't have to be perfect. I was flipping through pictures on my phone showing somebody some things I'd done in one of my hobbies working with glass. I showed a picture of my first bead. I showed a picture of a bead I did in first day of a class, second day of a class. I showed a bead I did a couple months later. I went, wow, I've improved. I've changed myself. Anybody can do that. And even if you don't change a major piece of yourself, you learn something that gives you a tool to fight against the stresses of your everyday life. There's a good kind of stress, eustress, and that is the stress of being excited about something, this good stress of knowing that you've done something outside of your normal paradigm that shows you have a different path. So my point in talking about what hobbies are out there and how to find these hobbies is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to pick up something and create a masterpiece. You don't have to run a marathon. You just have to walk to the end of your block. You have to pick up a paintbrush. You have to pick up something, do something, and increase inside of you that good stress, that happiness. Unite with some people, create something, give yourself satisfaction. Every one of us out there is capable of doing that. And my point is, it will make you happier and make you feel better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Very well done. We really appreciate that you were able to share that with us because it's important, especially with all the free time that we have, or what limited free time some of us have. We can find things that interest us, that stay within those interests, and that yet they help us to use that time to the most that we can. Our next speaker is a leader in the district. His name is Tyler Hardy. He's the current Area 26 Director and our Toastmasters Live VP of Public Relations. And he's here to share tonight some ideas about how we can find new members for our club. And other Toastmaster clubs, if you're seeing this, hopefully you can share in this and learn something for your club as well. He will be speaking from the Successful Club series, which is a module designed by Toastmasters International to help the clubs perfect their programming, and it's a part of the Advanced Leadership Program as well. Tyler is speaking from two modules this evening: Finding New Members for Your Club and Closing the Sale. Please help me welcome Tyler Hardy.
Thank you, Kent. And thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for joining me on this evening. Recently, Toastmasters Live had the incredible opportunity to host the Toastmasters International President, Balaraj Arunasalam, all the way from Sri Lanka. While Balaraj was here, he shared his words of wisdom with us and showed us the many ways that Toastmasters has transformed his life. He shared with us that as a CEO, Toastmasters has taught him how to engage effectively with his employees, and he hasn't lost an employee for over 8 years because of the implementation of these Toastmasters techniques. What's more, he's become a more active and engaged husband to his wife and father to his 2 daughters through the learnings of the Toastmasters program. He was so adamant that Toastmasters could revolutionize the world that he even asked the question, what ailment or issue in the world could not be solved by better communication or better leadership, which are the 2 pillars of the Toastmasters program. And we have, as Toastmasters, have all benefited firsthand from the learnings of the Toastmasters program. We're more confident communicators, presenters, and negotiators in the workplace. We're more engaged listeners and leaders in our community environments, our church groups, and other nonprofits that we serve. But let me ask you this. Could we do more to promote the Toastmasters program, and specifically Toastmasters Live, which is the perfect mouthpiece to exclaim to the world what Toastmasters is all about? At the beginning of this year, we chartered with 20 members strong. But after only a few months, we've suffered drastic attrition of our members, and we struggled to renew more than 10 members in September. I'm here tonight to share with you some ideas that I have on how we can attract new members. Because when we attract new members, we're not also creating that opportunity for someone else, but we're helping ourselves because we're presenting our club with more vibrancy, more viewpoints, and new members help stave off that creeping ambivalence that overcomes those clubs that only focuses on their current membership, which was, in fact, the condition and the case of my first Toastmasters club. In 2015, I first came in contact with Toastmasters when I joined Rural Community Insurance Services, an office in Anoka that used to be owned by Wells Fargo. The Toastmasters Club at the office had been an excellent club serving members for over 10 years. But 2 years before I joined, in 2013, they actually decided to put their club on hold and went all but extinct because they weren't able to draw in new lifeblood into their club, new members they could not attract or retain, and they decided to stop meeting altogether. When I came in 2015, I made it my mission to revive this club and to grow our membership. And through a series of marketing techniques, I rechartered our club at 8 members and increased our membership to 24 within the first year. I'd like to share the techniques that were helpful for us, the crop masters, in reestablishing our membership base. One of the first techniques, and most basic, is making sure that we have marketing materials to distribute wherever we go. Courtesy of Sherry Jacobison, I have with me a huge stack of flyers. And when I'm done with my speech, I'll gladly pass them out to each and every one of you in the audience so that it can be used as a talking point and just a piece of marketing to show others how Toastmasters Live can benefit them. Also, another important part of getting more members to come is having a strong online presence. Recently, Kent has worked, our VP of Education, has worked hard to set up a website for Toastmasters Live. This website will serve as a focal point to have all club communications run through, and will also direct traffic for any prospective guests that want details on where they can find us and how they can contact us. Additionally, I've worked to build out our Facebook pages and YouTube pages, but I'll need your help in making these pages popular online. After this meeting, I'll send an email reminding us where we can find those sites. So if you have 5 minutes, please go on there, like our Facebook page, and follow us on YouTube. And if you've already done that, then spend some time interacting with us online. Leave a post or a comment, share a funny photo that you found, or watch one of our videos. This will all go a long way in directing more traffic to our club. Additionally, I've been considering adding groups such as Meetup and Yelp in order to capitalize again on our online presence and drive more traffic to our club. Other ways of attracting clubs is hosting special events, which we've already done. As I mentioned, we recently had a special guest all the way from Sri Lanka, Balaraj Arunasalam. By holding special events, we show prospective members that we have a vibrant community and program already in place. And I continue to encourage us to host these special events in the future. Now that we've gone over a few techniques on how we can boost our membership, I'd like to talk about some more advanced techniques of persuasion and closing the sale. At Toastmasters, we're first and foremost communicators. We have with us, because of Toastmasters, a tool set of persuasion. And because of this, we should make sure that whenever we're engaging a prospective member, that we do so face-to-face, rather than other forms of communication. By involving them or engaging them face-to-face, we're able to use our powers of body language, eye contact, and vocal variety to make our case. We're also able to engage with them on a more personal level. Just as we've also learned in Toastmasters that you need to know your target audience. So when you're thinking about engaging that prospective member, take a second to take a step in their shoes. Ask yourself, what are they looking for? What would benefit them most drastically? Perhaps there's someone new to the area and they're looking for a social outlet. In that case, emphasize the incredible social and networking opportunities in Toastmasters. The opportunities to create lasting, lifelong relationships with some of the most influential and genuine people in your community. Or maybe you're about to approach someone who is on track in your office to become a manager. Well, in this case, appeal to their desire to succeed in the workplace. Emphasize the leadership track and the advanced leadership curriculum of Toastmasters, and you'll for sure have an eager ear to talk to. Lastly, when you're making your case, be excited. Plaster a smile on your face. Talk about a time that you were really proud of being a Toastmaster. Perhaps there was a time you gathered the courage to compete in a contest and you did exceptionally well. Or maybe you did something to help out your club and you were recognized. As soon as you start sharing that story with that prospective member, they will see that passion exude from your person. They will see that passion in your eyes, and they'll want what you have, which is a Toastmasters membership. So friends, fellow Toastmasters, and guests of Toastmasters Live, let's all join together. We can all help out in ensuring that we have a vibrant, versatile club with new, regular members here at Toastmasters Live. So after my speech is done, come and take some flyers from me. Go and engage with us online. And spread the word to your friends, families, churchgoers, anyone you come into contact with, that Toastmasters Live is here and ready for you, because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Well done, Tyler, and thank you for that inspirational and informational speech. It's important that everyone, that our audience know, I think, that one of the most important things, as I said before, is that we're all developing both communication and leadership skills. And not only in prepared speeches, as we've just seen, but one of the most important tools we use in Toastmasters is what we call table topics. It's impromptu speaking, or improvisational speaking, if you will. What we do in table topics is we have a table topics master who proposes questions to individuals who have been identified before the meeting as people who want to respond to these questions. The catch is, well, these people don't know the questions yet. Hopefully they're based on the theme of the day or some intriguing or interesting aspect of life that our Table Topics Master has chosen. Our Table Topics Master tonight is going to be Sherry Jacobson. And I'd like to bring her up at this time and have her conduct our Table Topics portion. Sherry.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that okay?
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, I'm Sherry Jacobson. I am your Table Topics Master for today. Are we going to have our speakers sit down? Okay. Let's see. Sue is first, Judy second, Tyler is third. Welcome. I wasn't sure of the theme of the day, so I prepared Thanksgiving questions since Thanksgiving is next week. Sue, Thanksgiving is all about traditions. My Thanksgiving tradition is that my husband and I spend Thanksgiving in Las Vegas. What Thanksgiving traditions do you have?
What a timely question. I don't do anything quite as exciting as Las Vegas for Thanksgiving, but I am excited this year. My mom passed away about 2 years ago, and last year was kind of a tough Thanksgiving, and just to keep the family getting together, I had my dad host Thanksgiving, which meant you provide the place. I bring everything an hour and a half to you. I set it up, I cook it, I get everything ready, and I bring everything home at the end. And this year, he has enthusiastically already bought the whipping cream and canned cranberries, and, and has convinced himself he is going to be able to make sweet potatoes. So getting the family together and having that one time a year where we all still are pulled back together, when I think that used to be my mom who pulled us all together. And it's to have that continuity, that means so much. And that's what I look forward to most for Thanksgiving, is just the whole family being in the same room and enjoying each other's company and having our new traditions take us forward.
Thank you. Great answer. Judy, I absolutely love turkey that is deep fried. When I lived in Texas, we could order a whole deep fried turkey at a particular fast food restaurant, and it was, oh my God, so good. Now the only time I get to eat deep fried turkey is at the state fair. What is your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving dinner, and is this something that you only eat at Thanksgiving?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Boy, there are so many things at Thanksgiving dinner that I love. It's really hard to pick out one thing. But I do love turkey, and I always make one that is a baked turkey. And I put it in a bag, and it comes out perfectly. I love dark meat especially, and then you can have all the leftovers. So it's not only turkey lasagna, it's turkey chili and turkey sandwiches and turkey quesadillas. So I just make some TV dinners that have turkey in them also and can freeze them. So everything is turkey, but it's such a healthy food. I just love it. And of course, we have to have some type of pie. So it might be pumpkin pie, it might be pecan pie, it might be cherry pie, or it might be all three. So it's a toss-up between the turkey and the pie.
Thank you. Great answer. Tyler, the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday. I shopped one time on Black Friday, and after the first hour of waiting in line at Best Buy, I told my husband to kick me in the butt if I ever thought of shopping on this day again. Do you shop on Black Friday? Are you one of those that has the whole route planned?
Sherry, that's a great question. I know a lot of people really go all the way out when they're trying to plan out for Black Friday. They even tent out or camp out the night before. That's just not me. The one time, 2 years ago, I did try and go to Black Friday. I was actually working for Target downtown. And because the downtown location doesn't have any residential nearby, it was actually a pretty pleasant experience going in there on Black Friday. There weren't all of the crazy crowds that you normally see. People were mainly organized and orderly, and I could find all of the door prizes as easily as the next person. So although I did have a positive experience 2 years ago, I still have not changed my mind. I'm not a Black Friday day shopper. I'll wait around till Monday to do some online shopping for Cyber Monday.
Thank you, Tyler. And that concludes table topics for today. I will now release the lectern back to our Toastmaster, Kent. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry, and well done. So now that you've seen our version of table topics or impromptu speaking, we're getting ready for the next phase of Toastmasters, and we have already shown prepared speeches. We've shown impromptu speaking. Another aspect we have at every meeting is we get feedback, and it's a very valuable, important part of Toastmasters, providing feedback to the speakers. Timely feedback, worthwhile feedback, positive, constructive suggestions. And we are going to be doing this through our general evaluator, who will introduce the helpers and the evaluators for the speakers, as well as the other helpers at the meeting. Our general evaluator for this evening's meeting is Judy Peterson. I'd like to bring her forward at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, yes, the general evaluation is very important, and there are several different ways of doing it. One of them is the PIP method, meaning positive improvement and praise. The second one is looking at the manual. So we have manual guidelines, and you can follow that. And then the third way is talking about how I saw you, how I heard you, and how I reacted to you. So we are going to start out with our first speech evaluator, who is Sue Thomas. Sue Thomas will be evaluating Mary's speech.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sue Thomas, and I'm going to be evaluating Mary's speech. You don't have to be perfect. Get a hobby. Mary was doing a speech out of the Competent Communicator. It was a get-to-the-point speech, and so I'll be talking about how she addressed each of the requirements for that speech. And Mary's general purpose of the speech was incredibly clear. Get a hobby. It's going to improve your life. The specific purpose of the speech was clear. She wanted to explain how that connected, how getting a hobby has improved her life, how it can improve our lives, and the growth that happens by discovering yourself through hobbies. And the speech organization supported that purpose. She started out by teasing us a little about hobbies, got more specific, and then summarized and brought everything back together at the end. I did think you used quite a few examples of how we can find hobbies. You talked about Groupons and YouTube videos and even friends from work, people out in your community. I think you talked about looking through newspapers and any advertisements on billboards you found, and all those were ways to find a hobby. I would have liked to have heard some more concrete, like which one did you get from Groupon? Which one did you get from a billboard? those types of things, my brain kept going to, well, what did she find through Groupon that was so great? Do I need to be looking for that in Groupon? So my brain was going for those kind of things, and so I was seeking that information, and I wasn't getting that. I did realize that you have a wealth of hobbies. You talked about glass making, joining Toastmasters, going walking, being part of social clubs in where you live. So obviously, somehow you've connected all these dots and found the hobbies. Things I liked about the presentation, as someone who really believes in the importance of self-discovery and continued growth, this hit home for me. It was wonderful to hear someone talking about how just following a whim or maybe a lost passion, things like that can help you discover yourself again and move you forward in your growth. I noticed when you were talking for the first part of the speech, there was a lot of podium gripping. That was the only sign of anxiety I saw at all from you. You got more animated as you went along, and I really appreciated when you seemed to loosen up, when your hands started going, and you seemed more enthusiastic about the topic when that came along with the rest of the presentation. It was a fabulous speech. Your confidence was amazing. You showed, other than this, no signs of nerves. I loved the speech. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sue. Our next evaluator is Teresa Fenn, and she will be evaluating Tyler's speech.
Thank you, Judy. Tyler is working out of doing a canned speech where he is working on the finding new members for your club. So he basically used the information from Toastmasters and rehearsed it and then brought us the speech is what I'm looking for. It was very effective. Tyler, while I was watching you, you had smiles, which is good because it's hard to smile when you're on camera. I've noticed that. And there was a lot of places where you were very vocal, changed the vocal variety, where I could tell you wanted us to be enthusiastic, get into it. We really want to have more members. I was reading through the questions here. There was a couple places where it talks about to like motivate or how to use personal items. And I liked how you brought in all the different clubs, the clubs that you did. It really made it more personal, which drew me in more. So I'm hoping that if anybody else is listening to this, it draws you in to come and be on our Toastmaster meeting. Because Toastmasters is fun to do, and once you're here, you'll realize it. So please come. So with all your speaking, that's what I saw. At the beginning, you're more formal, informational. So be sure to put that same enthusiasm when you got to the smile part. Put more of that in, because I think that really helps get everyone involved right away. It was very informative. The handout was great. You brought it up. Could see it, and you explained what it was. It gave us all the information we needed. So, great job, Tyler. And I'll introduce Judy back up.
Thanks, Teresa. Our next report is the timers report. That will come from Sherry Jacobson.
Thank you. Today's timers report. Our first speaker, Mary, her speech was 5 to 7 minutes, and Mary came in at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Tyler's speech was 10 to 15 minutes, and he came in at 10 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, our table topics respondents, they have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. Sue, you came in at 1 minute, 11 seconds. Judy, you came in at 1 minute and 4 seconds. And Tyler, you came in at 55 seconds. Our speech evaluations, they run from 2 to 3 minutes. Sue Thomas, you came in at 2 minutes and 52 seconds. And Teresa, you came in at 1 minute and 50 seconds. And that concludes the timers report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Now I will give the general evaluation of the meeting. And first of all, I'd like to start out by saying I loved the way we started out with a general overview of how our meeting was going to run. I thought that was very, very good. Second is that we had talked about who's going to be on the camera and what positions were going to be filled. And unfortunately, before the meeting, we didn't have all the positions filled. But during our briefing, everybody stepped up and was very positive about, oh, I can do this, I can do that. So I love the enthusiasm. Kent started the meeting on an energetic note. He was very good with this introduction. And the one thing that I especially liked is that he talked about not only communication, but leadership. So both of those things were brought forward. We had two great speakers. Loved both of their speeches. The part that Tyler brought up was meetups and Yelp. And I thought, wow, maybe those are some things that we should look at, like those ideas. Also building lifelong relationships, because I know that in my life as being a Toastmaster for 3 years, I have built lifelong relationships. Again, Kent, as Toastmasters, he was really good with his transitioning between the areas of table topics and general evaluation, and I thought he did an excellent job. I have to say that the cameraman was especially good with his gestures, telling us which camera we should be looking at, and I love that. Very good evaluations as well. I think, again, some of these people didn't know that they were going to be doing it until the last minute and stepped up, and just we got 100% from everybody. What I would suggest we do is have everybody come at 6 o'clock instead of, say, 6:30, and that way we'll maybe start on time, because we did start a little late. Otherwise, I thought this was a fantastic meeting. Thank you. I'm going to return control over to our Toastmaster, Kent Hawks.
Thank you, Judy. Well done. As you may have guessed, TV viewing audience, we are a Toastmasters Club primarily, but we're also unique in this area, in that we are the only Toastmasters Club that not only spend time in front of the camera, we're also behind the camera. Each of our people in our control room, running sound, lighting, cameras, and our director and graphics people in the control room are all Toastmasters. That means that they're here to learn how to speak in front of the camera, but we're also here to speak and to use the technology behind the cameras and gain that experience, which is important for us all. We get the opportunity here at Toastmasters Live to get the best of both worlds. And it's wonderful from a perspective of having been on both sides of the camera. You get a great perspective, you get an appreciation for all that goes on both sides. I like the way the meeting went tonight. Thank you, Judy, for a great evaluation. We're going to be setting up our next meeting in 2 weeks, and we look forward to having anyone join us. You can come and join us in the audience and find out what we do here. As you heard, we get together at 6:30 on the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month, and we meet here at the North Metro television station at 125th and Polk in Blaine, Minnesota. I'm going to be talking with everyone after the meeting. We're going to be going over our roster of who gets to do what at the next meeting, who wants to do what roles, who are going to be our speakers, who are going to be on our tech crew. We invite you to come along and find out what we do. Come and share with us, and look for us for our next episodes coming up on Channel 15. Thank you.